It's 2 in the morning and I just ended a virtual consultation with my first patient. Take note, first patient. I could feel my body numbing from my 3 hour sitting position. I have been talking to my client for that long and I want to rest so badly. But I tried my best to act professionally because, of course, I could lose my job if ever I would slack off. And now I could finally rest, but after 15 minutes, I will be back to grinding. I am Jess, and I'm a virtual medical representative. I talk to clients about medication and customer service and provide medical assistance. After I closed my laptop, I lay on my small bed here in my office. My husband is already asleep in our bedroom. I sometimes feel bad because I don't get to spend more time with my husband, David, due to my work, but he understands because he knows that I'm doing this for us. He is an engineer and his work is quite draining and exhausting as well, but he makes sure to spend some quality time with me, and that is what I love about our relationship. We are each other's comfort and rest. As I lay in my bed, I could feel that my throat was drying and about to get sore. I heaved a deep sigh. It's been months since I have felt this uneasiness in my neck. It's not a stiff neck after a 10 hours night shift, but a lingering soreness and lump in it. I paid it no mind as I always have. I don't mind the condition of my health because I'm so busy working hard for our finances. But I noticed lately that the soreness is slowly becoming more painful and affecting my health because I constantly have hoarseness in my voice. And it's sort of affecting my job because whenever I talk for a long time, I could feel my throat drying and my voice becoming inaudible, giving my client a hard time to understand what I'm saying. I sometimes complain about my condition to my husband, and he keeps on insisting to have me checked in the hospital, but I'm afraid to know the diagnosis. And on the other hand, I'm working in the medical field, and I think this condition is still curable, but I'm also aware that this could potentially be cancer, and I hope not. I cannot afford the medical treatment I would undergo and the derailment in my mental and physical health. My family needs me. But as much as I don't want to mind this underlying health condition of mine, it feels like it wants me to pay attention to it because it's very alarming already because of its frequency and intensity. That is why I decided to consult a doctor. I immediately booked an appointment for later. When morning came, I went to the hospital and waited patiently for my turn until my name was finally called. After I ran different tests, I waited again for the result. The nurse called me to hear the doctor's diagnosis. I sat anxiously in the doctor's office, fidgeting with my hands. I'm so scared to know the state of my health. I'm so afraid because I know all too well that this is not normal. Dr. Johnson, a middle-aged physician, entered the room and looked at me with a concerned expression. My heartbeat started to race furiously. I'm so anxious.
Jess, I have the results of your tests. It's not good news,
he said softly. I gulped as my eyes widened with anticipation, my heart pounding so fast in my chest. What is it, doctor? What's wrong with me? Dr. Johnson took a deep breath, preparing to deliver the difficult news.
Jess, the results show that you have thyroid cancer and it's already progressed to stage 4.
My face was drained of color, and I struggled to hold back my tears. This is not real. My hands were shaking so hard. I am so shocked. I know it would be bad, but I never knew it could be worse. Stage 4? Thyroid cancer? How How did this happen? I whispered to myself. Dr. Johnson held my hand as sympathy was shown on his face.
It's difficult to determine the exact cause, but considering your work as a home-based medical representative and your regularization exposure, it could be a contributing factor.
My mind raced, my thoughts immediately shifting to my family's well-being. There is no way I could stop working. How am I going to provide for them now? I can't stop thinking about the fact that they will suffer because of me. My eyes started to well. Tears fell to my cheeks and my hands couldn't stop shaking. Oh no. What about my family, doctor? I don't want them to suffer. Can we keep this a secret? Dr. Johnson looked at me with empathy, understanding my concerns. He heaved a deep sigh.
Jess, I understand your worries, but it's crucial to have the support of your loved ones during this challenging time. They can provide the emotional strength you will need to face the upcoming treatments.
I hesitated. I am torn between protecting my family and following the doctor's advice. I appreciate your concern, doctor, but for now, I want to keep this from my husband. I don't want him to worry or bear the financial burden. Can I confide in someone else? He nodded. Dr. Johnson considered my request, realizing the weight of my decision. I don't want to burden my husband. I don't want to make him worry about me. What will happen to our future?
If that's your choice, Jess, I understand. But please remember, sharing the burden can be a powerful source of strength. Choose someone you trust, someone who can support you during this journey.
I nodded, but I already made up my mind. I will be keeping this a secret from my husband. Thank you, doctor. I think I know who I can confide in. Dr. Johnson offered me a comforting smile, acknowledging my decision with respect and understanding.
I am here for you, Lisa. Whenever you need support or have questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
We exchanged a heartfelt look, both understanding the difficult path ahead. I am so lucky to have such a respectful and good doctor. I know I can trust him with my health. I went home that day and I'm so anxious. There were lots of things going on inside my head. My health, career, family, and expenses. I decided to tell my mother-in-law Marga about my health because I know she can help me and I hope that she will help me as well. I nervously paced back and forth in my living room, clutching a piece of paper with my cancer diagnosis. I patiently waited for her to arrive after I texted her an important note. I took a deep breath, mastering the courage to talk to my mother-in-law. She entered the room and she noticed my distress immediately. I could see the concern in her eyes. "Lisa, is everything all right? You seem anxious." "There is something I need to tell you, Marga. It's important and I hope you'll understand." My mother-in-law sat down beside me. I know that she could sense the seriousness in my voice. "Of course, Jess. What is it? You can trust me." I clutched the diagnosis paper, diverting her attention towards it. She meticulously stared at it. I know that she's already curious. I went to the doctor and they found something. "I have thyroid cancer, Marga. It's already in its 4th stage." She gasped, her hand covered in her mouth in shock. She held me and pulled me closer to her and gave me a comforting hug. "Oh, my dear, I can't believe it. How did this happen?" I fought back my tears. My voice betrayed me as I trembled. It's hard to say for sure, but the radiation exposure from my work might have contributed to it, Marga. I need to ask you something. I don't want to burden David with this news. He has enough on his plate, but I'm worried about the financial strain this would put on our family. Margaret reached out and held my hand, offering comfort. Jess, I understand your concerns, and I'll respect your wishes. You can count on me to support you through this difficult time. My eyes welled up with gratitude. It feels like a wave of relief washes over me. I'm so lucky to have a mother-in-law like her. I was right in telling her everything. Thank you, Marga, for being a mother to me. Now that my parents are gone already, I know you were the one that I could trust. I have made a decision though. I'm going to pretend that I'm going on a company trip for the next 2 months, while in reality, I'll be undergoing chemotherapy. I don't want my husband to worry or suspect anything. Marga looked at me with a mix of concern and understanding on her face. I hope she will help me with this. She held me once again and talked to me softly. Yes, deception can be a heavy burden to bear, but I'll respect your decision. Just promise me that if things become too much for you to handle, you will reconsider and confide in your husband. I nodded as tears streamed down to my face. I promise, Marga, this is my way of protecting them for now. But if it becomes too overwhelming, I won't hesitate to share the truth. She pulled me into a heartfelt embrace, offering solace and support. We'll get through this together, Lisa. I'm here for you every step of the way. We hold each other tightly, both knowing the challenging road that lies ahead. After that, she decided to go home, and before she could even leave the house, I saw her flashing a weird smile at me, or a smirk, perhaps? What was the meaning of that? But I didn't mind it at all. A day had passed since I confided in my mother-in-law. I sat on the couch, my heart heavy with anticipation as I watched my husband walk into the room. I wanted to tell him about my fake work travel, but it seemed like he was distant towards me and avoided making eye contact with me. What is wrong? I approached him. David, can we talk? My husband sighed, reluctantly turning to face me. His expression was a mixture of anger and confusion.
What is it, Jess? I've been avoiding this conversation all day.
I was so shocked. Does he know about my condition? There is no way he would. My eyes welled up with tears as I tried to gather my thoughts. I'm so confused. What do you mean? He just chuckled.
You're going to tell me that you're going to work travel, right?
My face was in total disbelief. Oh no, does this mean that he knows?
Okay, silence means yes. Do you love him? The one you're having an affair with? I didn't know you're capable of lying. You are so cruel.
I am so confused. Did my mother-in-law spill our secret and lied? How dare she? I need you to understand that what you're about to hear isn't true. It's a lie, Jason. Please believe me. My husband raised an eyebrow. His skepticism was so evident, and he answered me with sarcasm.
A lie? Well, that's a new one. What could be so important that you had to lie about it?
I took a deep breath, fighting back my emotions. I don't know how or why, but your mother, Margaret, lied to you. She made up a story about me having an affair with my doctor and planning to leave you. It's not true, Jason. I would never do that to you. My husband's eyes widened in surprise, and a flicker of doubt crosses his face. He looked at me, judging,
as if I said something so horrible. My mother? Why would she do something like that? You're bad-mouthing her. You're making her the bad guy here when in fact it is you all alone. You are the one who is having an affair here. I broke down in tears. I am so frustrated. How can I let him understand everything without telling him that I have cancer? Please, this is so hard. Please, you don't understand. My voice trembles as I recount the painful betrayal of my mother-in-law. Why is she twisting my words? I was loyal to you. I loved no one but you. And now I will discover that you're having an affair? How dare you? He crashed the things on the bedside table. I was startled and gasped so loud. That is not true. We're over. Let's have a divorce. That is final. And he left me alone. I broke down that night. I didn't know what to do anymore. I did my best to rekindle our relationship. For 3 days, I reached out to him to fix our marriage. But he kept on shutting me off. I begged him to stay and to hear me out, but his mind and decisions were clouded with the thought of me cheating on him. And I can't change that anymore. I had no choice but to face these challenges alone. My health, my relationship, and the betrayal of my mother-in-law. I went to the hospital and put myself in therapy and surgery. I underwent chemotherapy treatment in the hospital, isolating myself from my husband and mother-in-law. I focused on myself and exerted every effort and strength to survive this illness. Every day, I kept on reminding myself that I'm going to overcome cancer. That is why I listened to the doctors. I took all medication and therapy just to better myself and my health. I am so devoted to my health. I stayed for almost a year in the hospital, and I was able to overcome all the expenses for free because the company that I worked with was partners with the hospital that treated me. My company sponsored my medication. And I was so lucky because despite everything that happened to me, there are still people that helped me and supported me through this trying season of my life. After 7 months, my progress was visible. The cancer cells in my body were combated and my body had slowly regained its strength. And I was cancer-free after 8 months. Everyone in the hospital congratulated me and they commended my strength and resilience. And because of that, they offered me a place in the hospital considering my work ethic and my medical background. And with that, I became a medical technician in the hospital. The longing for my husband and our relationship was still evident in me. But I gave up a long time ago because I got no more chances. His mind is already closed. That is why I tried my best to work on myself. Now that I have completely recovered from my illness, I am now ready to embark on a new journey. Through my work in the hospital, I was able to save money and buy myself a house. On top of that, I purchased a car as well. And basically, I was able to thrive financially, and I'm also growing as a person. 3 years have passed and I was promoted to senior medical technician. This milestone has walked me through different opportunities and life-changing breakthroughs. Also, I was able to build my foundation that is in support of cancer patients, providing assistance and care to them. One day, I was walking through the hospital, donning a white lab coat and carrying test samples. It was a normal day in my duty. Or is it normal? I turned a corner and my heart skipped a beat when I spotted my mother-in-law Marga sitting in the waiting area. The things and traumas from the past quickly went back to me. Her appearance was so different from before. because she used to have a deceiving and intimidating aura. As a survivor and a medical worker, it seems like her aura reflected an ongoing battle with cancer, pale, weakened, and vulnerable. I approached her cautiously. My emotions are a tangled mix of resentment and a desire to rise above the past. But she noticed me first. "Jess, what are you doing here?" She looked at me from head to toe and was shocked at what she was seeing. I took a deep breath, my voice firm but tinged with a hint of bitterness. "I work here now, Marga. I have moved on. I have rebuilt my life." Her eyes widened, seemingly caught off guard by my response. But she finally manifested back her intimidating aura. "Moved on? From what exactly? Your fabricated affair? Your supposed plan to abandon my son?" She mocked me. I felt the anger ignite within me, but I tried to maintain my composure. I responded calmly. "Those were lies, Marga, lies you spread to tear my family apart. I know that we both know the truth, and still you lied, but it didn't work. I survived." Marga's confident facade wavers for a moment, replaced by a flicker of guilt. "I did what I thought was best for my son. I wanted to protect him from potential pain." She defended herself. The pain of her betrayal resurfaced, but I refused to let it consume me. She cannot manipulate me anymore. "Your misguided attempts at protection only caused pain and shattered trust. I won't forget or forgive what you did." Marga's face contorted. Her guilt and regret were evident as she struggled to find words. "You will never have your family again, even my son." And before she could ever say bad things to me again, I left her. I found out that she was under medication for cancer. I told the hospital's director about the trauma that she caused me. That's why, when she was admitted, I told the director to be her assigned medical technologist. I wanted to show her that my success is my greatest clap back to the bad things that she did to me. For her stay in the hospital, I never once saw my husband, and every time that I checked her vital signs and whenever I went to her room, she always gave me a bad attitude. Even in her poor health condition, she never failed to insult me and even discredited my success and my survival from cancer. After weeks of medication, her cancer got worse and she was in need of a blood donor as soon as possible. And by ASAP, it means in 30 minutes. She has a blood type AB and I have the same blood type. And when she knew about that, she begged for me to be her blood donor. Marga lied in a hospital bed, weak and in need of a blood transfusion. I stand at the side, my arms crossed, my face displaying a mix of conflicted emotions. "Just please, I need a blood transfusion. My blood type is AB, and you're the only one who matches. Please help me." I hesitated. Memories of mistreatment and hurt flooded my mind. I took a deep breath, struggling to find the strength to respond. "You have treated me poorly for years. You have belittled me, spread lies about me, and caused immense pain. Now you expect me to help you?" Marga's eyes welled up with tears, all the while regret etched on her face. "I know I have made mistakes, Jess. I can't undo what I've done. But I'm desperate now. Please, I need your help to survive." "I am not a stone heart like you, and I will help you with your condition. But do not expect that once you're well, you will get away from the pain you have caused me, you and your son.
I was in need of family support, but you weren't with me. I will let you savor the taste of your own medicine. I donated my blood, and my mother in law became cancer free. But as soon as she got out of the hospital, I signed the divorce papers, and all the rights, properties, and assets were passed to me. They were left with nothing, and I think in that way I have achieved my